Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl. Closing time. One last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time. This room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come. So gather up your jackets, move it to the exits. I hope you have found a friend. Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Yeah. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you will be from. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Happiness, more or less, it's just a change in me, something in my liberty. On my mind. Happiness coming and going. I watch you look at me, watch my fever growing. I know just where I am. But how many corners do I have to turn? How many times do I have to learn? All the love I have is in my mind. But I'm a lucky man with fire in my hands. Happiness, something in my own place. I'm steady naked, smiling, I feel no disgrace with who I am. Happiness coming and going. I watch you look up and watch my feet are growing. I know just who I am. And how many corners do I have to turn? How many times do I have to run? All the love I have is in my mind. I hope you understand. I hope you understand. Oh, no, 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 no. Gotta love them, happiness, more or less, it's just a changing me something in my liberty. Happiness coming and going. I watch you look up and watch my people growing. I know, oh my, oh my, oh my. It's just a changing me something in my liberty. It's just a changing me something in my liberty. It's just a changing me something in my liberty. Oh my, oh my. It's just a changing me something in my liberty.
From the incredible album Urban Hymns, which you should definitely own, that was The Verve with Lucky Man on 120 Minutes. Up next, we have the latest from the St. Louis septet known as The Urge. As I told you last week, this song and video features 311's Nick Hexum, who's a friend of the band. And there's little doubt as to why these guys are friends. They seem to have a lot in common, besides the similarity of their mixing and merging a lot of different sounds. The Urge, like 311, believe in a grassroots approach to their music. They've already released 4 CDs on their own Nikai Records before being picked up by a major label. This is their second one on a major, in fact. So let's check it out. From Master of Styles, this is Jump Right In from The Urge on 120 Minutes tonight. Welcome back to 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield. I'm here with my special guest, Scott Weiland, who'll be performing a song from his album known as 12 Bar Blues later in the show. It's great to have you here, Scott.
Thank you, Matt. It's great to be here.
You know, you're looking great, and the new record is getting great reviews, 12 Bar Blues. And I love it because it's really adventurous. Let's talk a bit about, you worked with Blair Lamb and Daniel Lanois, actually, in production. How did you get hooked up with those guys? Why were they your choices?
Well, basically, it all started with the title, well, not the title cut, but the first song, Desperation Number 5.
Right.
I started writing that song and pulled out my little home 4-track cassette,
Right.
player, and I don't really know how to work the machine. I'm not good with machines, really, you know. So my brother-in-law suggested that I call a friend of his, Blair Lamb. Said, you know, he's done some work with Sheryl Crow, you know, helping her out in production. Gave him a call. He came over. We hit it off immediately. Both of us, you know, shared the same, you know, affinity for producers such as Brian Eno and Daniel Lanois, you know, and that was really the kind of direction that, you know, I wanted to go with for this album. Once I decided to make a solo record, you know, I can't get away from pop melodies, but I really wanted to, like we're saying, push the envelope as far as the sonic nature of the songs, the production.
The arrangements, everything.
Yeah, do something totally different, totally un-rock and roll, you know.
And it's great because it goes in a lot of different directions. And Daniel, you must have been a fan of stuff he's done with U2, obviously, in the past. And,
yeah.
And Dylan, and, you know, Eno, of course, he's worked with, and I know you love Bowie, and there's that whole connection there, too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, with the record, I really wanted to kind of paint different sort of soundscapes, and you know, once I got a chance to meet Daniel, we actually sent him a cassette because they asked me, who would you like to mix these songs? There were 5 songs that were left over that we're having trouble mixing. And Daniel got the tape, called me up and said, you know, I love this. This is actually the first record that I've heard in 10 years that has actually made me feel jealous, and that was like an amazing
great compliment.
Oh God, hearing from Daniel Lanois, you know, I mean, it was amazing to work with him, and now he's playing guitar in my band, so.
Which is great, and people get to see that later as well. Now, right now, we'll be back with Scott in a couple minutes. We're going to check out the latest from Third Eye Blind. This is the third video from their self-titled album, actually. It's called Losing a Whole Year. It's the lead-off track on that album. Check it out on 120 Minutes tonight.
Now I can't explain where it is. I'm going down to the river, bathe in the water. It's a way to make a living, but will I be forgiven? Down to the river, bathe in the water. It's a way to make a living, but will I be forgiven? Forgiven. And the light comes, somebody stole my heart. Now I can't explain where it is. I'm going down to the river, bathe in the water. It's a way to make a living, but will I be forgiven? Down to the river, bathe in the water. It's a way to make a living, but will I be forgiven? Forgiven. The light comes, somebody stole my heart. Now I can't explain where it is. I'm going down to the river, bathe in the water. It's a way to make a living, but will I be forgiven? Down to the river, bathe in the water. It's a way to make a living, but will I be forgiven? Down to the river, bathe in the water. It's a way to make a living. Will I be forgiven?
From the album Get a Grip on Yourself, which, by the way, is the name of an old Stranglers song that influenced the title of that album. That was the 120 Minutes debut of Forgiven, brand new from Wank.
Is that what influenced the title? Get a Grip on Yourself?
Well, Wank too, maybe. You never know. I'm Matt Pinfield here with Scott Weiland. I think it's a little bit of both, really, without a question. But they're old fans of punk rock, so I'm sure they know that Stranglers track too as well. Anyway, Scott, let's talk about the record. We mentioned Desperation #5 before, and it's got a it's kind of great, quiet, textured thing. And there's even a lyrical reference to Jane Says in there. There's that one line that's she takes a swing, but she can't hit. That's kind of like the Jane Says thing.
Yeah, actually, that's it's kind of
a reference point.
Well, in that sort of culture, that drug culture is sort of a known sort of phrase.
Right, which is about like it's about hitting
it's
the
one
vein
of
kind
those
of thing.
kind of nasty, gross things.
Now you're doing great and you look great. You're taking care of yourself and you're cleaning. The record's very personal.
7 months, yeah.
That's fantastic, actually. And the record's really personal because obviously with all the things that you've had to deal with, with drug addiction and just some other things in your personal life that have been very public too. It's, it's one of those situations where you're really bearing your soul on this record.
Yeah. I didn't really set out to, say, okay, I'm gonna write an album and because I need to purge my soul or anything. It just kind of turned out that, I tend to write most of my lyrics when I'm in a situation where I've, been affected deeply in my soul. My emotions are affected intensely, and I've gone through some, pretty tough experiences, and had some loss and some pain, and it kind of inspired me to put pen to paper. There was also the situation, my wife and I separating, and I'm happy to say now that we're, back together working things out. But that definitely caused, me to, write a few songs about that.
You've always been influenced really personally by things that go on in your life. I remember you and I getting together years ago and talking about Still Remains being, about your wife originally, some of the lyrics in that about your relationship and being alive together.
Yeah.
And then Pretty Penny kind of almost being a thing about yourself, looking at yourself from the outside early on, and adhesive. So it's cool, you've always kind of drawn, obviously drawn from your personal feelings.
Yeah, I tend to feel that that's when I'm being most honest with myself as a lyricist. There are exceptions. Like a song like Meat Plow off of the Purple album, which is more of sort of socio-political kind of commentary. But I'm not really too much like Zach, De La Rocha. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
From Rage, right?
That's his shtick. His thing. Not really mine. Sometimes a little bit. I go up that street, but...
Depends on where you are at the time, what's influencing you, definitely. We'll be talking more with Scott in a little while, and he'll also be performing an amazing song from his new album, 12 Bar Blues, just a little bit. But until then, let's check out the top 10 singles in alternative music around America this week.
Anyone could see the road that they walk on is paving the goal. It's always hardest thing to do. With no life sitting on the stereo. Your line.
Welcome back to 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield here with Scott Weiland. His new album is 12 Bar Blues. And the first video is for Barbarella, a song that definitely, you and I, like I said in the past, and even in interviews recently, you've referenced it. Big fan of that era of David Bowie, this, hunky-dory, and some of the folkier stuff from Man Who Sold the World, Space Oddity. Beatles, obviously, the White Album is something you were listening to a lot during the recording. There's even Pet Sounds, Beach Boys thing.
Yeah.
This track's cool because it has that, Unwashed and Somewhat Slightly Dazed, Memory of a Free Festival vibe. It, appeared on Bowie's Space Oddity album. Just with it, with the arrangement, but it's the video itself is obviously taking. It's got that Man Who Fell to Earth feel too.
It was, a very deliberate thing. I had a meeting with Dayton and Ferris.
Right,
And
great directors.
actually, it was it was at a recording studio where I was mixing down the live show that we did for 10 Spot.
Right.
We took those tapes into the studio and mixed them down.
Yeah.
And so Dayton and Ferris came over, and we had a meeting about, you know, the concept of the video, and they actually, you know, brought up doing a takeoff on Manifold Earth, and I thought it was you know, a perfect idea. The song is about alienation, you know, and
right.
And feeling alone and hopeless, and that's basically what you know, the theme sort of behind that movie is about. You know, in alienation and alien, you know, in this nation, you know, who at first is able to you know, take over the stock market, you know, build a fortune, and slowly starts looking back into, you know, his past, and is missing his family and
in Manifold Earth, which was an interesting movie when it came out, because for a lot of people, they had to see it 2 or 3 times to really get what was going on in it. It was pretty much ahead of its time in '76. Yeah, which is cool, but it works out well in the video.
And basically, we just kind of decided to steal the whole darn idea.
Nothing wrong with that, though. Let's check it out right now from the first video off of 12 Bar Blues. Here's Scott Weiland and Barbarella on 120 Minutes tonight. Hey, it's Matt Pinfield here again with my special guest, Scott Weiland. Now, Scott, you had some cool people play with you on 12 Bar Blues. Daniel Lanois, of course, who we're going to see playing in a few minutes, and also Victor, who plays drums and was in Sam I Am for a while.
And Red Cross.
And Red Cross, too, which is a great band from California, of course. And Cheryl Crow was a guest on it, Peter DiStefano from
Point of Pyros, and Martin Lenoble, bass player of Point of Pyros, who's still in the band.
Right.
And you know, a bunch of friends, all people that were friends. You know, we didn't go shopping through the musicians union to find players. You know, I basically just called people up that I, you know, who I liked and who I've known for a while, and a lot of us have all had similar experiences visiting hell and coming back.
Right, exactly.
You know, and it was really cool to make a record like that. You know, just kind of go in and experiment on a day-to-day basis, and if there was a part that needed to be played, and you know, call up a friend and have him come down, and or her come down, and just you know, experiment, little art project.
Right, good experiment and good experience too.
Yeah. Now
let's talk a bit about Lollapalooza. There's rumor. Are you you've been offered to headline that or work on that show?
Not headline it. There's been some talk about myself and the Action Girls, my backup band, playing the second to last spot.
Right.
Which to me is, my opinion, is like the
be.
best spot. I mean, you know, really. And I guess it's kind of up in the air whether it's going to actually happen, because they're still looking for a headliner. You know, they really kind of need. This is my first record, and it's not. You know, I'm not with SDP. You know, SDP could headline that. You know,
right.
But I couldn't at this point. So they really need somebody, you know, who can.
Right.
You fill the seats.
Been around, you figured that'd be too presumptuous at that point. What's great though is, I mean, I know that you're talking again with Dean, Robert, and Eric about doing some more Stone Temple Pilots stuff after this too.
Yeah.
Well, what should we look forward to, something in the next year or so?
I have no idea. You know, last time I spoke to Robert and Dean, they came down to the studio where I was finishing up my album, and I played it for them. And they were really impressed, and I had, you know, a good conversation with both of them, and you know, it was a nice sort of warm. It was one of those warm, fuzzy kind of moments. You know, we gave each other hugs and said, you know, we missed each other and missed working together, and you know, I look forward to doing another SDP record. But right now, you know, my focus is. Totally on
12 Bar Blues.
on this album, and I plan on touring the whole planet Possibly Mars even too.
Yeah, if you can
we
do
can
it, why
get
not?
over there.
And it's something you want to do, and just live the record through like you have with the all 3 SDP albums. So
Right.
and it's all part of the process, really, doing
Yeah.
it. Well, I want to say I appreciate you stopping by, Scott. It was good to have you, man.
Hey, thank you
As
very
always,
much.
you know what I mean? Good hanging with you again.
Appreciate
And definitely
that.
pick up Scott's new album, 12 Bar Blues, as well as all the Stone Temple Pilots albums, Core, Purple, and Tiny Music. Check them out. Stick around, because when 120 minutes continues, Scott will be doing an acoustic performance. It's going to be amazing. Stay right here. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, man.
And Daniel Lenoir. From his new album, 12 Bar Blues, this is Sun, live on 120 Minutes.
Time and time again, I'm not the man. Time and time again, I'm not the one. Now go to sleep, you little child of mine. I wish I had the beauty you hold inside. Now go to sleep, you little boy of mine. You make my world a better place to find. Coolness is staring at the sun. Coolness is driving with my son. Time